Well, g'day and welcome to another edition of Chewing the Fat. Bevo here with you at the Alma today, and we're joined by a superstar, Brownlow medalist in 2003, 8 All-Australians, 3 showdown medals, Hall of Famer for Australian football. He's done it all, and of course a 1998 Premiership player with Adelaide Crows. That is Roo Ricciuto. Roo, great to have you on Chewing the Fat, mate. Talk us through your football journey from Waikerie to becoming one of the greatest Crows of all time.
Well, you forgot about my greatest accolade, and that was being captain of the Italian team of the century, right? So get it right when you do your research.
Sorry, mate.
Yeah. Started playing footy at Waikerie as a kid. Dad coached the under-10, so started with that, worked the way through the grades, played in the A grade up there at Waikerie in 1991, and we won a premiership up there. I just turned 16 when we won the flag, and they hadn't won a flag for 17 years, so went on the footy trip as a 16-year-old and learnt a fair few things on that trip.
And how did you end up at West Adelaide?
The Riverlands zoned to West Adelaide, so I had a fair few clubs trying to get me to play for them, and Port Adelaide, well, I won't say Port Adelaide were very keen because my uncle played for Port Adelaide, Bruce Light, played over 200 games. People who vote for Port Adelaide or people who watch footy in the 70s and 80s would know Brucey Light. And one club actually sent me a $3,000 cheque when I was 12 to try and sign up. And my old man ripped it up and said, don't worry, you'll get more than that later on. And $3,000 back then was like $1 million now. I used to work all summer holidays cutting apricots to get $1,000, and the old man ripped up a $3,000 cheque. So I wasn't very happy with him, but he was probably right in the end.
Yeah, I think you made a pretty wise decision in the end after your massive career. Now, mate, you've had some very interesting coaches over the years, none bigger than Blighty, of course, that took them to 2 premierships, the Adelaide Crows. And he's renowned for dishing out a fair spray. Did you cop a few in your time from Blighty?
Yeah, you knew you were doing all right if he wasn't talking to you, all right? So, which is not what younger players want these days. They like to be told how good they are and everything's okay, and they don't like getting any bad feedback. So if Blighty wasn't talking to you, you knew you were playing pretty good footy. But one particular day, Blighty had us in the pre-game area, and he had everyone in a circle, and he was up in the middle on a ladder. I don't know why he was on a ladder, but he maybe just wanted to be higher than all of us. And one by one he stepped us forward and just gave us all the almighty spray. I think there was only a couple of people that didn't get one. I think that one was Benny Hart. He was having a good season. He said, you can go and get another contract, but everyone else copped an absolute hiding. I remember he said to Mark Bickley, who was captain at the time, he said, go and buy Michael Tuck's book. It's called How to Play Within Your Limitations. So I don't think Bicks like that one too much, but yeah, all and sundry got a spray.
And let's talk about 1998. You missed the 97 one through injury, but 1998, the second one in a row for the Crows, must have been pretty special for you, Roo.
It was. I thought I'd missed my dream to play in a premiership the year before. My groin started giving way about halfway through the season, and I ended up missing the second last game of the year. Tried to rest up for the finals. Couldn't get off the ground one day. I was in tears and said I'm going to have to go and get an operation. So had the operation, 2 hernias, 2 conjoint tendons, osteitis pubis, and then I got wheelchaired out of hospital on prelim final day, and that was when they come from 39 points down to win that against the Bulldogs. And then 1997 when I didn't play, it was probably I was crying one minute in the crowd and happy the next. But you don't feel part of it when you don't play at all, no matter what they say, no matter if you've had a big impact on getting them there. If you're not out there, you're not part of it. So 98 come around, I had to do a lot of rehabilitation over the summer, got right. We were struggling early, we had to win the last game of the year just to make the finals in 1998. We went to Perth and we thought we had to beat West Coast Eagles just to make the finals. And I can't remember who was playing in Melbourne, but someone played, and whatever the result was meant that we were in. So I remember all the boys all of a sudden come out of their hotel rooms, they were jumping up and down in the hallway. A couple of blokes were nude, they were all wrapped, they were getting a bit too excited. Anyway, then we went and played West Coast Eagles and smashed them. And then we come back to Adelaide, played in Melbourne the next week, got beaten, and then we went to Sydney to play. We beat Sydney in the wet up there. Then we went back to Melbourne to play against the Bulldogs, beat them. And then we had to go back to Melbourne for the grand final. So we travelled 5 weeks in a row. I can't remember if anyone's done that. I doubt whether they have. but we travelled for 5 weeks in a row and still won that grand final. It was unbelievable feeling. Blighty flogged us on the training track after we lost that game to Melbourne in the first week of the finals, and we thought we were going to be exhausted by the granny, but we ran all over the top of North Melbourne and kicked 6 goals, 15 in the first half. We kicked 4-4, I think. So Wayne Carey always said he won 3 premierships, 2 for North Melbourne and 1 for Adelaide, because he kicked 1 goal 5 that day. Peter Caven reckons he played a great game, stopping him to 1, but he should have kicked 5 or 6 to Duck. So he always thanked Duck for giving us that premiership. But yeah, to win a premiership's what you play for and what you strive for, and I was very happy to win one.
Yeah, absolutely. I've won as well in amateur league footy. It's unbelievable.
No matter where you win them.
Exactly. Yeah. Now let's talk about what you do at the moment. You're on with Dits every morning from 6 to 9 a.m. and you're also on Fox Footy as well. And you're a Triple M commentator. And you've got 6 kids, mate. How the heck do you do it and get up at 3 in the morning every day?
Well, I don't get up at 3. I can promise you that. I get up at about 4:45. I'll get in there about 5:15. We got sort of 70% of the show sorted out before we get there. Scan a few websites, have a look around, see what's going on in the papers. We've got our show organised by 6. Dits is great to work with. He's an absolute professional. He's a gun at his job. He can memorise everything. He's very intelligent, and I'm not. I have to write everything down, and I just sneak through. Can hardly talk. I've got a croaky voice most of the show, but we get through and we have a bit of fun. And we've been doing the afternoons and the mornings now for, I don't know, a long time. I can't even remember when we started, to be honest. Must be 7 or 8 years. Yeah, he's good to work with. We have a lot of fun, and yeah, lucky to get paid to do a brekkie show.
Awesome. So 6 to 9, Monday to Friday, Triple M. Make sure you have a listen. It's a great show. Now, let's go back and talk about your footy career again, mate. We all know that footy clubs, there's a lot of practical jokes played and stuff like that, but what's the funniest practical joke you've been involved in, or perhaps that you've seen at your club?
Practical jokes? Oh, gee. You've caught me on the hop there. I don't get into practical jokes too much, but Tex Walker's the biggest practical joker now. He's always playing tricks on everyone, so and we have him on the show every Tuesday, so perhaps we better just stick in and listen to what Tex gets up to. Dits put his house on the market last year because they were having a little run-in joke together and trying to get back at each other, but yeah, Tex is right into it.
And the funniest teammate you played with, Roo?
Funniest teammate I've played with? Well, Andrew Jarman used to keep us entertained throughout the pre-season a lot of the time. Him and Stephen Rowe were sort of, they're always having a chat, so they were pretty good. Mods is a funny man in his own way, and so he was always good fun to go out with, because the first year I played for the Crows he kicked 129 goals, so he was pretty spectacular on and off the field, we might just say. I learned a few things off Mods. At Joplin's, on West Terrace, and a few other places around Australia. But who's funny now? Probably just leave it at that. Those guys are pretty good.
Yeah, I think you've answered that pretty well. Now let's talk about this Saturday night. It's a huge game. Both sides are missing some key players. We know how close the showdowns are though in recent years, Roo, and as we've spoken about so many times, off the air and on air, it's one of those games where you just never know who's going to win regardless of who's on the field. Now let's talk about Port. Last week they went down by 39 points to the Pies, and the Crows, it was a bit of a scrappy game against the Dockers, win that one by 17. How do you see this one going?
Yeah, form goes out the window when it comes to showdowns, and both sides have got about 5 or 6 of their best players out. I know Port have had a couple out this week, and there's been in the press about a few out, but the Crows have got some gun players out themselves, so probably cancels out each other, I think. Look, I think the Crows' performance last week was a lot better than what most people think. I think Freo will play finals. It was a finals-like game last week. It was very tough and contested, hard to score goals. I respect what Port have done this year. I'm surprised they've actually gone as well as they have. I think it'll be tight. Hopefully the Crows can pull up well from last week in a tough game. I think Crows will win by a couple of goals.
Yeah, can't
Surprising that I picked the Crows.
Yeah. We're both Port fans, but it's going to be a ripping game. So, well, Mark Ricciuto, thanks so much for joining us today and Chewing the Fat. Thanks to the Alma Hotel and to Steve Murphy for filming. Mate, it's been an absolute pleasure.
Thank you. Cheers.
Thanks everyone. See you next time.